In an unpredictable world, financial stability is not just about how much you earn. It's about how prepared you are for the unexpected. Life has a way of throwing surprises at you when you least expect them. Job loss, medical emergencies, sudden repairs, or family crises. This is where an emergency fund becomes one of the most important pillars of personal finance. Yet many people either ignore it or underestimate its importance until it's too late. An emergency fund is not just a savings account. It's your financial safety net, your stress reducer, and your first line of defense against debt. In this guide, we'll break down exactly how much you really need, why it matters so much, and how you can build it step by step in a practical and realistic way. Today we will talk about emergency fund, how much you really need, and why. So, before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. An emergency fund is a dedicated pool of money set aside specifically for unexpected expenses. It is not meant for planned purchases like vacations, gadgets, or shopping. Instead, it's reserved for true emergencies, situations that are urgent, necessary, and unavoidable. This includes things like medical bills, car repairs, sudden job loss, or urgent home maintenance. The purpose of an emergency fund is to protect you from having to rely on credit cards, loans, or borrowing money when life takes an unexpected turn. One of the biggest reasons an emergency fund is so important is that it prevents debt. Without savings, most people turn to credit cards or personal loans to cover emergencies. These options often come with high interest rates, which can quickly turn a small problem into a long-term financial burden. An emergency fund allows you to handle these situations with cash, keeping you financially stable and stress-free. Now comes the most common question. How much should you actually save in your emergency fund? The general rule of thumb is to save 3 to 6 months' worth of living expenses. This means calculating how much you need each month to cover essentials like rent, utilities, food, transportation, and insurance, and then multiplying that amount by 3 to 6. For example, if your monthly expenses are $1,000, your emergency fund should ideally be between $3,000 and $6,000. However, this rule is not one size fits all. The exact amount you need depends on your personal situation. If you have a stable job, multiple income streams, or strong family support, you may be comfortable with a smaller fund. On the other hand, if you are self-employed, have an irregular income, or support a family, you may need a larger emergency fund, perhaps 6 to 12 months of expenses. Another factor to consider is your risk level. If your job is in a volatile industry or you don't have job security, having a larger emergency fund provides extra protection. Similarly, if you have dependents, such as children or elderly family members, your financial responsibilities increase and so should your safety net. It's also important to distinguish between a starter emergency fund and a fully funded emergency fund. If you're just beginning your financial journey, aiming for 3 to 6 months of expenses might feel overwhelming. In that case, start with a smaller goal, such as saving $500 or $1,000. This initial fund can cover minor emergencies and give you confidence. Once you achieve that, you can gradually build toward a larger fund. Building an emergency fund requires discipline and consistency. One of the most effective strategies is to treat it like a non-negotiable expense. Just as you pay rent or bills every month, set aside a fixed amount for your emergency fund. Even small contributions add up over time. The key is consistency, not perfection. Automation can make this process much easier. Set up an automatic transfer from your main account to your savings account every month. This removes the temptation to spend the money and ensures that you are consistently building your fund without having to think about it. Another helpful strategy is to save windfalls and unexpected income. This includes bonuses, tax refunds, gifts, or extra income from side hustles. Instead of spending this money, allocate a portion or even all of it toward your emergency fund. This can significantly speed up your progress. Where you keep your emergency fund is also important. Ideally, it should be stored in a safe, liquid, and easily accessible account. High-yield savings accounts are a popular choice because they offer better interest rates than regular savings accounts while still allowing quick access to your money. Avoid investing your emergency fund in stocks or other volatile assets, as their value can fluctuate and may not be available when you need it. Liquidity is crucial because emergencies require immediate access to cash. If your money is tied up in investments or long-term deposits, you may not be able to access it quickly enough. The goal of an emergency fund is not to maximize returns, but to provide security and accessibility. Another important aspect is understanding what qualifies as an emergency. Not every unexpected expense is a true emergency. For example, a sale on your favorite product or a last-minute vacation opportunity is not an emergency. Using your emergency fund for non-essential expenses defeats its purpose and leaves you vulnerable when a real crisis occurs. Once you start using your emergency fund, it's essential to replenish it as soon as possible. Treat it like a temporary solution, not a permanent withdrawal. After covering the emergency, adjust your budget and prioritize rebuilding your fund so you're prepared for the next unexpected event. An emergency fund also provides peace of mind. Financial stress is one of the biggest sources of anxiety for many people. Knowing that you have a safety net in place can significantly reduce stress and help you focus on other aspects of your life. It gives you confidence and control, even in uncertain situations. Another benefit of having an emergency fund is increased financial flexibility. For example, if you're unhappy with your job, having savings gives you the freedom to explore new opportunities without the fear of immediate financial pressure. It can also help you take calculated risks, such as starting a business or pursuing further education. Many people delay building an emergency fund because they feel they don't earn enough. However, the truth is that even small amounts can make a big difference. Saving $10 or $20 regularly may seem insignificant, but over time, it builds momentum and creates a habit of saving. Budgeting plays a crucial role in building your emergency fund. By tracking your income and expenses, you can identify areas where you can cut back and redirect that money toward savings. Even small adjustments, like reducing dining out or canceling unused subscriptions, can free up extra cash. It's also important to avoid common mistakes. One mistake is keeping your emergency fund in the same account as your spending money, which makes it easier to accidentally use it. Another mistake is investing it in high-risk assets in search of higher returns. Remember, the purpose of this fund is safety, not growth. In 2026, digital tools and apps have made saving easier than ever. You can set savings goals, track your progress, and receive reminders to stay on track. Some apps even round up your purchases and save the difference automatically. Taking advantage of these tools can help you build your emergency fund more efficiently. Another advanced strategy is to adjust your emergency fund over time. As your income, expenses, and responsibilities change, your fund should evolve as well. For example, if you get married, have children, or move to a more expensive area, you may need to increase your savings target. Finally, remember that building an emergency fund is not a one-time task, it's an ongoing process. Life changes, and so do your financial needs. Regularly review your fund, update your goals, and continue contributing to ensure that you remain prepared for whatever comes your way. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up, leave a comment, and click the button to subscribe.